What's up, everybody? My name is Mr. Dupa. That right there is Adam Obeses Rodriguez.
Dunkadoodleballs.
And that's Drunk Dave Romero.
I dropped the beer.
Today's brew is the Thomas Creek Deepwater Dopplebock Lager. I don't know how much ABV is it.
7.
7. Nice, guys. Nice. Yeah, it looks pretty good. Who chose this?
Me, Adam.
Why?
We don't usually do many lagers.
You're right about that.
And it just looked interesting. We never tried anything from that brewery either. So,
All right, well, it's got pedigree. A silver medal winner from the 2008 Great American Beer Festival.
It was like
it's way too
6 years
specific
ago
to actually mean anything.
2008.
that was 6 years ago.
It's vintage. This is the One Baron podcast.
Careful, I dropped them. In the cup.
You're good. You're good.
Lost to be found, not someone to save you when you're down. Yes, I'm bored when it's bright out, so bored when it's bright out. 4 to 5 a.m. takes me to a place where I fit in.
All right.
Cheers.
All right, first I have to say this aroma is very different.
It smells good to me.
It smells like
It
a.
don't stink like that last one.
No.
It smells like a Malta.
A little bit, yeah. That's kind of a porter smell to it.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
there
it.
it is.
And it kind of tastes like a porter,
And
too.
it's good.
Yeah. A little bit darker of a beer.
I like it.
I can dig it. I can dig it.
As far as scoring, I'd probably give it a...
Whoa. Calm down. Tell us about it, Adam.
I mean, it has light hints of beer.
God damn, that's specific.
No, it's a very...
Very beery beer.
It's a very beery beer. It tastes a little like a porter. I mean, that's the closest thing I can have to relate it to.
Yeah.
It doesn't taste like a lager. Not a classical
That's
lager.
a crazy thing to say.
Yeah.
That the lager tastes like a porter.
I know, right? What differentiates this one?
From
A normal lager, yeah.
I just, it's a little thicker. That taste, that hint of sweetness.
Right.
Almost dairy taste almost.
Yeah. It's a little smoky, too.
The lagers usually, they give you that, like, original beer type of flavor. You know what I'm saying?
I like how you always classify the lager as the
That's what it
traditional
always
beer.
feels like to me.
Generic
It's like
beer is a
There's nothing.
lager.
Yeah, there's nothing really.
Like, no, I think you mean like American beer.
Yeah.
Isn't a lot of American beer like Pilsner, though?
I know Yingling's a lager.
That's true.
Samuel Adams is a lager.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to sit here and try to name them because I'm going to embarrass myself.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, I enjoy
You're good
it.
at that.
Real good embarrassing yourself, Marco. I like it.
No shame.
It's definitely more of a darker beer. I wouldn't go for it if you're looking for a traditional lager, obviously, because it's not golden.
Mm-hmm.
It's definitely dark brown. And it tastes like a porter. So if you like porters, pick it up.
Yeah. Lagers are always to me like a very chill beer. Very. I'm not going for anything original. I just want to have a good beer while I'm relaxing.
Yeah.
That's when I usually go for a lager. This is not it. This is something this is a little more ambitious.
Mm-hmm.
You know, there's more flavors. There's more to it. I wouldn't. I'd do it on a podcast.
There it is. You did.
I did it on a podcast.
Yeah, we talk about drinkability a lot, and I feel like the traditional lagers are definitely more drinkable than this one is. It's a little thicker, stronger flavor, a little bit higher ABV.
But if you're going for an interesting flavor,
Yeah.
especially for a lager, I'd go with this.
If you're a fan of the darker beers again.
Yeah.
As a fan of the darker beers, I'd probably give it a 4 or 5.
I'm going 4.5.
Yeah. 4 or 5.
All right, sheep. I remember, David. I remember.
It's only because you edited and heard it
Uh-huh.
many times.
Right, so anyway.
This is the
Before we
One Beer
move forward-
podcast. Okay. Well,
I want to, Adam, you posted a article on the chef who enjoys shitty beer.
Yeah.
Did you read that?
David Chang.
David
Yeah.
Chang, yep.
I know
heard
David
it?
Chang. I follow some of his stuff.
That's pretty big name.
Yeah. I actually read that article. Well, how did you feel about it? Or basically for anybody who hasn't read that article, Marco, he's pretty much talking about why he prefers the taste of bad beer. He's completely aware of it being bad beer, but he just prefers it, like, just as his preference to better beers. And the way that he describes it is pretty much, I guess he ties it to a memory.
Yeah.
And that's, like, the reason why he wants to try it. And, you know, just reading that article, I kind of wanted to try bad beer because I completely understood what he was saying.
Yeah, it's completely relatable when you put it like that.
Yeah, like, I understood what he was saying because, like, if we drink Coors, I remember to that one time at your friend across the street's house.
Oh, right, like house parties and stuff like that.
That was the first time I had Coors. You know?
Right.
And I'll always remember, like, Bud Light Lime will always remind me of, like, your birthday party that we all got completely obliterated at.
Oh my god.
But yeah, I think it's funny how much, like, it made me feel kind of stupid because I'm always putting down, like, shitty beers. But at the same time, I'm sort of endearing towards them because of the memories that are tied to it.
Yeah. I feel like that's where all of us started drinking beer. We didn't start drinking craft brews. Like, that's not how it went. So I think I can speak for all of us and say that we all have specific memories tied to quote-unquote crappy beer. Bud Light, Coors, you know.
Yeah, like, I can remember, like...
PBR.
Yeah, I can remember when I had my first PBR, like, specific memories tied to it. Like, at,
no doubt.
At iBar. How they had free PBRs, and that's the only reason anybody went. And at King Tut's, they had Bud Light all you can drink.
Yep.
It was such bad beer, but such good memories came out of such bad beer.
I know.
And ignorance.
It's true. It was
it's a
happier time.
It's a beautiful sentiment.
Yeah.
You know, to that is.
Yeah.
But at the same time, when you're like sitting around, I mean, you're not gonna go for a Coors when you're just kind of like, I want a good beer. You know.
Yeah.
But it is understandable. I
think reading that article made me, like, I don't know, it kind of made me feel like, all right, there are, like, I don't have to constantly drink good beer. Like, there's times where it's appropriate.
Definitely.
Right. And it made me, like, kind of regret all the times I was like, I'm not drinking that bullshit just because I was being a beer snob.
Right.
And just becoming conscious of how, I guess, picky we've become, or I've become.
I mean, I pretty much have a golden rule. If you go to someone else's place and they've provided beer, you drink it. If it's Coors Light, Bud Light, Budweiser, it's free beer. You drink it. You don't go in there and be like, well, I mean, it's not craft brew, and I'm not drinking.
A poo poo.
I have to admit, I'm guilty of that.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I think, like, the last house party I was at, there was, like, a keg of Bud Light, so I just didn't drink.
I mean, you know.
Did you sit on top of the keg, just, like, completely judging everybody that was taking from it?
Yeah, I did, Adam.
Okay, good.
But you know, it's it's the way that we've started to, like, do this thing. Like, just the older we've gotten and the more beer we've had, better we've got at you know, judging them, and your palate changes. Why would you drink disgusting beer just because
you can have something flavorful?
Exactly.
And
it's
something
like,
with the, like,
your mom, you know, made chicken back in the day doesn't mean you can't have a nice steak and not like chicken anymore, you know? Although, you know, having chicken from time to time is it brings back memories.
It's the same thing, like, as if you know, where, like, if you're going out to fancy restaurants, nothing's going to compare to mom's cooking.
Yep.
Yeah. It hits you in the heart.
Right, but you still fucking go to those nice restaurants and eat that nice food because it's nice.
It's nice, very nice.
But with that said,
yeah,
I think one episode later down the road, we should have bad beer / story time, where we just reminisce on bad beers and
stories
associated with bad beers.
Great idea.
Yeah.
This bastard already tricked us into having one before.
Yeah.
No, it wasn't that bad. We voted it high enough. All right?
Yeah, you know, it was a solid beer.
Yeah.
But you're a manipulative bitch.
Yeah.
That's true.
So yeah, great idea.
Yeah, we'll sideline that until we can kind of formulate a plan for that. But yeah, sounds good.
Anyway, episode 33, straight up in effect. I think
pregnant with this episode.
we'll just jump right in. Are you ready to go?
born ready.
By the way, I mean, you know, if I set these up, like I could like go into them. The reason I push them to you, which is why I always say, Adam, you got it, is because like you brought it up.
Does.
Like, but what?
He's never got it.
Right. Well,
He's never like, throw me the ball. Throw me the ball, Mark. He's never right. Just hits him in the chest and hits the ground.
I would like if you know if you think it would be smoother for me to like go into it and we start talking about it. I just throw it to you because you've researched it and I just say Adam and then you go.
Yeah.
But like I could go into it.
I was going to go into it.
Go into it.
So by this time, I'm sure you've all heard about this game. It's been everywhere throughout games journalism. People have been throwing fits over it, and I think rightly so, because it's stupid more than anything else. I'm not even offended by it. The game's called Hatred. It's from a developer out of Poland called Destructive Creations.
Yeah.
Very famous developers that have made such classics as... And it's using Unreal Engine 4.
What was that?
What was that?
That's because they didn't make anything.
It's not ready for that.
No.
They're using Unreal Engine 4, and they've shown it on this this new trailer.
Yeah, gameplay release trailer.
The gameplay release trailer. The game's coming out in 2015, but basically Unreal's like, whoa guys, you're not certified to show our logo because this game looks ridiculous. Now the premise of the game is you're basically a mishmash of emo stereotypes, mostly from the...
Metal stereotypes?
Yeah, mostly from like the late 90s, I want to say.
You look like the lead singer from Metalocalypse.
Yeah, actually. Or remember that Jack Black game, Brutal Legend?
Yes.
Yes.
It's like a gritty version of him.
Mm-hmm.
In all black.
Yeah.
And a trench coat.
I mean, that's a given with that stereotype.
True.
Yeah.
You're a stereotypical goth
Pretty
who
much.
hates the world.
Yeah. So there's this really janky, I don't know, monologue, I guess, where he's talking about, I hate the world.
Awful.
I
It
hate
was
the
bad.
world. I hate my life. Everybody should die.
Honestly, like when I watched that part, I was like, "What is this?" I thought it was gonna get like it was gonna zoom out into like a bullshit game, and I wasn't like. It looked like a really high quality indie developed game.
Yeah.
I wasn't ready for that at all because that CG looked like bullshit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I digress. Go ahead.
Right. So basically, after this narration, I guess, about him hating his life and wanting everybody to die, he's on this mission. He just goes around and kills a bunch of innocent people.
Yeah,
And that's it.
He picks up an AK, he puts a clip in, cocks it,
Right.
casually walks out of the door, and shoots the first person he sees.
Yes. And that's the game. It basically looks like a twin-stick shooter, sort of.
Yeah.
You're just killing innocent people, men and women running around, and that is the game. That's basically it. And unless there's some kind of like third act twist that we're not seeing right now, that's it. That's it. It's a game about massacres, and given the social climate right now, I don't feel like that's a very appropriate thing to do. But beyond that, it just seems like a crappy game.
That video fucked me up, man. I didn't like it at all. I fucking
I
hated it.
think I watched it in the morning, like as soon as I woke up, and that rustled my gems.
Yeah, I didn't like it.
It is the epitome of bad taste, in my mind.
And you know what? We play hyper-violent video games all the time. We've been playing them our whole lives, basically. It's not the violence. I think it's the motivation behind the violence.
Yeah.
In every game that's hyper-violent, there's always something to it. Like GTA, yeah, you have the option to just go around and just massacre people, but I mean, that's not what the game's about. That's not the game. Like,
Right.
they give you that option because they give you freedom to do whatever you want.
Right.
This game is just like that's your intent is to go out but it's also it just seems so just trying way too hard to be controversial and it was just disgusting, man. It just rubbed me the wrong way. It was like
made you uncomfortable
Yeah.
to see like the thing that I didn't like. Okay, let me preface this by saying I'm only going off of the trailer. I'm probably going to bootleg the game.
Yeah, none of us have played the game so far.
Right. I'm probably going to bootleg it because I have no intention right now of buying it from what I saw, but I am curious. I think what made it stick out so much was like Marco said, the intentions behind what you're doing.
Right.
I think games like GTA and like Just Cause and Watch Dogs and all these other games, and the games that you can kill everybody, especially Postal 2.
Right, that's what I was
yeah.
going to say. That is
big
the
one.
original. That was kind of a game that you just go and massacre people.
Right, but I mean the whole thing about all those games that separates it from that is there's some sort of quirky element in all of those.
Especially in Postal, it's like cartoonish.
It's cartoonish. You can pee on a dog if you want, and that's in the game. And it's the whole premise to go on
Right.
on a postal rampage.
But it's a redeeming quality, or it's tongue in cheek. There's something there.
Like it lets you know like we're not serious. This seems like a game made and created by someone who really had an issue with something that
that
happened.
fucking trailer was dark, man.
Yeah.
Like, what fucked me up the most was like killing innocent people. I mean, you do that like in GTA. Sometimes you get bored and you just go around and just fucking walk up down the sidewalk and just kill people. That's
They don't
one
beg
thing.
for their lives.
They don't
though.
beg for their fucking lives, man. That's what fucked me up. Was hearing them scream and just beg. And like, there's the one scene where he like shoots the chick right in the mouth.
In
And it's
the
like,
mouth,
holy
yeah.
fuck! What is the point?
Yeah.
What is the point of this?
They actually interviewed the creator of the game, obviously, because of all this controversy, and he provided nothing of value. He basically said, yes, it's a controversial game. It's a game that is not for everybody, but it's for a guy that has a hard day at work and comes home and just wants to let it all out. And
Fuck that shit.
Honestly, I would. You say something like that, and now it kind of switched me, and I'm like, all right, I'm glad a game like this does exist. So someone who is disgruntled can live out their fantasy in a game and not in real life.
But
that would be nice, but I don't think any person who has those kind of thoughts who wants to act on them
Are
you know,
going to anyway.
yeah, exactly.
The game's not gonna
being able to vent
satisfy that.
through the game is it's not gonna.
I mean, you never know.
I suppose. But then there's the other argument
Right.
that says this is just a training simulator for the person that's actually going to do it in real life eventually.
Right.
That's the Fox News argument. I'm not backing it necessarily.
Yeah, I
but-
know you're playing devil's advocate,
Yeah.
but I mean,
Yeah.
I could say this like.
But it's a viable point.
You can say that about anything. Like this is going to be the game that
Triggers
makes a
somebody.
kid turn into a computer hacker and shoot people. This is the game that turns someone into a secret agent and ride airplanes and with the grapple on
That
their
sounds
hands.
awesome.
I don't think
This is the game that's going to turn him into the Batman.
I don't think that is something that needs to be ignored, because that's been the same argument since the 90s when Mortal Kombat came out. It's the same fucking thing
Yeah,
they
I
say
don't see
over
anybody.
and over.
I've never heard of anybody ripping out someone's spine.
Right. At least never heard of it.
People
But
try.
it's definitely going to light a fire under video game violence advocates who want shit
Right.
like that.
That's
taken
my
out.
biggest problem with it, is that it gives video games, which have far and beyond become much more of a legitimate storytelling channel, I guess, that you can use to tell really compelling stories nowadays. We talked about it in the past, actually, and it's taking that medium and bringing it back 10 years.
That's what I was gonna say. I don't think the argument is that it's hyper violent and it's influential for kids and blah blah blah. And I don't think it's any of that. I think it's that it has no merit. There's no artistic value to it. Like GTA is violent as it is.
But
like the stories that they tell with them, there's artistic value
not
to
only
that.
just the stories, but just the details in the environment show that there's more to it than just shooting people.
Right.
I mean, I don't want to make it sound like every game needs necessarily artistic merit, because some games are just fun.
Right.
But who's having fun when you're playing a game like
And
that?
that's another issue, because I honestly feel like somebody that gets off on playing a game like that, there's probably something wrong
There
with
might be
them.
something a little wrong with that person.
Like you were saying, you go on rampages in GTA and stuff like that, but it's a challenge.
There's also, in all of those games that I just mentioned, you go ahead and you kill someone, there's a negative response. You aren't rewarded
Right.
for killing innocent
Right.
people.
It's not the purpose.
Yeah, the cops come at you,
And they kill you,
right?
and then you come back.
You can't progress in the game by just simply doing that. In this game,
That's the
as
objective.
far as we're concerned, as far as we've seen, that is the objective. That is
Right.
what you do in the game.
I did see him kill a cop in the trailer, so maybe there is some sort of resistance, a SWAT team or something that comes in. But I mean, even so, it's just that extra level of realism within it is what really differentiates it. The begging, the pleading, and how ultra violent and realistic it is. I feel makes it that little extra step a little too disturbing for it to be comfortable.
Yeah, it's just too.
I mean, even games like Manhunt didn't bother me like this, because in Manhunt you're in a prison. The people you're
They're
killing,
psychopaths.
they're convicted criminals, psychopaths.
Yeah, you're fucked up. They're fucked up.
Right. That evens it out on a plane that you can neutralize killing people on.
Right.
But this, like I said, they're just innocent people on the street, and the NPCs are cognitive of when they're gonna die. It's not like someone's walking down the street in GTA and then ragdoll physics take over, and it's sometimes it's comical with how they fall.
Right.
Yeah.
But this isn't that. They literally beg for their life. They cry out, no, no, no.
Yeah.
It's not like, I wouldn't want a kid to see that game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It puts you in the shoes of a serial killer, man, and like you've never been in that situation as far as video games are concerned. Even if you play a bad guy in a game, you never play the just like a psychopath who just kills innocent people for no reason. Like, that's uncharted water, I feel.
There are games where you do that, but it's not. You're not just a normal person that's on a rampage.
I guess it's just too real for right now.
Yeah, especially in our country. I don't know what the hell's going on in Poland, but school shootings have become like
It's very real.
part of the news.
Yeah.
Every couple months, there's a new one, and
Right.
that's our world. That's our reality. You know,
Yeah.
like, I don't know how it is overseas, but that's us.
Yeah.
And
then who's he making the game for? I mean, they're making
That's
the
another
game
big
for
question.
us.
Who's the audience for this game?
They know that
Who wants to buy this game?
right. I mean, who are you? There's no justification for that. Like, the guy who comes home from work and he's stressed out and he wants to vent. Who the fuck? What kind of job do you have? Who the fuck? Who the fuck?
Who do that?
Like, I mean, how can you be so stressed that at the end of the day you're like, you know what? If I could just murder every single person in my neighborhood, I'd feel a lot better about myself. You might want to try a different job or something.
Live a little better.
Live a
little better.
Go outside, smell the fresh air a little bit. I
Play some Minecraft.
I don't see the merit. You're right. Games don't have to have artistic value all the time, but I don't see the fun. I don't see the point, honestly, in a game
Right.
like that. I've never been disturbed like that by a trailer. I mean,
but nobody's making you play it.
That's true.
Nobody's limiting the developer's creation.
Right.
And
Yeah,
that,
right, yeah,
and that
yeah.
he's completely exercising why it's. I'm not for this game. Let me preface that. But he's expressing and exercising his right to create any kind of game
Right.
he wants.
And the creator actually, in that interview I was telling you guys about, said that too. He said, I'm making this game because I feel like the games nowadays have become too PC.
that's a dumb thing to say.
Well, he says that, not everybody wants to play this space shooter where you're killing aliens. I'm doing this thing because I feel like we've moved away from the types of games that I would enjoy playing, or something to that effect.
Oh, okay, so he's the sick motherfucker.
Probably.
I agree with you, Dave. I mean, no one's saying that the game shouldn't be allowed to be made.
I think people are saying that.
Well,
too.
I mean, no. Okay, what I'm saying is nobody here is saying that
Right.
because I feel like I speak for everyone when I say he has the right
He has
to
the right
make
to
a
make that
game
game,
like
yeah,
that, and he
cool.
deserves that right because we live in a free country. But he shouldn't make a game like
Right.
that.
But with that said, there's a reason that ESRB rating is in effect. Like, if children do get their hands on this game, it's the parent's responsibility to parent that child and be like, all right, this game isn't appropriate for you. And even then, like, I don't think. I mean, last time I checked was like years ago, and then I've read that there's never ever in America been an adults only rated game. And I very well think this may be the first AO rated game.
We'll see.
Well,
I don't
think that Columbine game that guy came out with. You never
Excuse
heard
me?
of this? You guys never heard
There's a
of this?
Columbine game?
Yeah, man. This guy made a PC game. Oh, it's so fucked up. So basically, you play one of the two shooters,
Oh my god.
and you just go around the school and you're like killing people. But it's like a Flash RPG type thing.
It's not. What I mean, like retail released.
No, I mean he put it out. I don't. Okay, I guess it wasn't in stores, right?
Right.
I guess it was like
That's-
an indie thing
that's
that
not
he put
regulated
out.
then,
Okay,
so-
you're right. You're right.
But it may be the first adult-only rated game in America. And with that said, most retailers, I know Blockbuster is like, not that they matter now, but back when they did matter,
Right.
they never carried any AO games, even if there were any to.
Most stores wouldn't.
Most stores wouldn't, right?
Yeah.
Because it's a bad look, and that kind of content is pretty much just considered pornography,
Oh,
Yeah.
it's the rated X of film.
right?
You know?
That's what.
Well, that's
yeah,
why
that's
I
what
mean,
I mean.
it's a PC game, so it's gonna be pretty easy to.
It's gonna be on Steam, isn't it?
I'm sure.
I mean, why
Did it
wouldn't
not
it?
say it was gonna be on Steam?
I
I didn't see that.
Yeah.
But I mean, if a kid has a PC, very easily just download that shit. Like it. I agree with you that it's the parents' responsibility on the one hand, but it's a lot easier to say no, Timmy. I'm not taking you to GameStop to get a rated adult game. It's a lot easier to do that than it is to regulate. Well, no, it's hard to regulate what your kid is doing on the internet, especially now. I mean, he could download that game, save it in a file. Parents wouldn't know.
Right.
You know, so it is difficult and something like that. It just, I'm torn between saying like something like that should be regulated, and on the other hand saying like, no, the guy should have freedom to make whatever game he
Right.
wants.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
Like-
that's exactly where I am too. Because I don't, like I said, I saw that trailer. I was like, I don't like this at all already.
Feel dirty.
But I already knew I already knew I was going to play it, and at the same time, I was like, all right, well, I guess it's good that he can make a game like this.
Yeah, the freedom to do that is awesome.
Yeah.
But I think it's still, at the end of the day, an irresponsible game to make.
Oh, that's what I was saying a couple episodes before when I was talking about kiddie porn. And
Excuse me?
Just see, this is the same
Wait,
reaction I
hold on.
got.
Kitty.
No, not kiddie, but child pornography.
Okay.
That's what I was talking about.
You
like
say that child pornography.
okay.
Can we
child
stop
pornography.
saying child pornography?
Yes, we can. But
Thank
what
you.
I'm saying is, like, that was my point before, when everyone like was like, "What the hell are you talking about?" Like the freedom that the internet provides people, that they can do stuff like that. Not saying that they should, but the freedom that it provides them to do those things.
You are so spiteful.
What?
This has nothing to do about.
You're right. I brought it up just to get a point across from like 6 episodes ago.
I understand what you're talking about. I get it. But yeah.
But no, but okay. The point is clear.
Right.
He should be able to make a game like this. Or it's good that he can make a game like this, but should he is the question, and I don't think so.
Well, and if you don't think that, and I was watching tons of videos on YouTube, lots of game journalists have, gone over this throughout this entire week, obviously. It's been like the #1 news story. And Inside Gaming actually said, we're not going to tell you how bad this game is. We're just going to tell you if you don't like it, don't buy it. Simple as that.
Right.
That's the most responsible thing.
Right.
Review, like people who do reviews could
Yes.
say.
Right.
Because you talking about it more, actually, we're kind of buying into it ourselves by doing this segment. But if you put more fuel onto that fire by giving
Right.
it more publicity, that's exactly what he wanted.
Yeah, he wants it to sell because of controversy.
That's it.
Yep.
That's it. So every time somebody's talking about how bad this game is going to be,
Right.
it's just adding another person that's going, "What's that game?
Right.
And as soon, I guarantee that Fox News is going to pick up on this news.
Oh man, you
and
know it.
It's going to be everywhere.
Yeah, it's going to be all over the place. It's going to be another fucking game for them to say, like, gaming causes violent children. It's just going to be another fucking brick for their foundation, for their stupid-ass argument that they've been spewing since the late 80s. I mean, but the gaming industry is stronger than Bill O'Reilly and his no spin zone. I mean, it has been so far.
No
I mean,
flex zone.
No flex zone.
They know better.
It's basically it's a terrible thing, but like at the same time, we've already talked about games that I feel are maybe even more violent.
Yeah.
Because
not. I wouldn't say intrinsically more violent.
It's unrealistic violence. Like when we
But
play
this-
Mortal Kombat,
Right.
nobody's busting a hole through someone's spine and ripping out their organs and their heart.
in
and their
real
hand.
life, obviously,
Yeah.
the hatred, the game is more relatable because it taps into something more real because of the time. You know, because of,
Yeah.
And the graphics,
of the
you
way,
know, like,
yeah,
things are much more realistic in that video game because of technology. We're
Right.
able to render these characters that look more like actual human beings,
right.
and plead more like human beings.
That's what's so messed up about it, is that how real it actually seems. Like, it's not Mortal Kombat and even GTA to an extent.
Right.
These things don't feel like things that happen in real life.
Mhm.
Like GTA just feels like a great movie.
Mhm.
And like, it's just a great action
Well,
movie.
it's very tongue in cheek too.
Right.
It's not meant to be
It's
taken
very,
seriously.
you know, it's almost aware of itself.
It's very aware of itself. I'd say.
But this just seems like pornography, basically. Like you said, it just seems like just
Violence porn.
Just not into it.
Anyway, so I guess we're all in agreement that it has every right to exist.
Right.
But it shouldn't.
We don't think that it should. It doesn't seem of value.
I'm not.
If there was something to the, like, if the creator was trying to say something, if there was some kind of social commentary,
Like
here-
Hotline Miami, you know,
Huh?
like Hotline Miami. You know, it's a very violent game,
Right.
but it has a social commentary to it.
It's also pixels.
That too.
that
It
that
separates
helps
itself.
that it's not
Yeah, I mean, it helps
ultra
you
realistic.
detach yourself from how violent it is.
Yeah.
Mhm. And that's part of the point too.
And yeah, this game. Not to say that that it's going to teach people to be violent, but it does help desensitize people from violence like that. You know, the more you see something like that, and the realer it looks on your TV screen, the more you will be desensitized to it.
Yeah.
With that said, I'm definitely not going to support it by buying it.
Mhm.
Like I said, I'm probably going to get it by other means.
I don't even think I'm going to play it if you get it.
I'm curious.
I'm morbidly curious. I kind of want to see what it's about.
I don't. I kind of honestly.
I want to hope that there's more to it than just that. But I
Yeah.
feel like in the coming weeks of its release, I'll just find out that there's not, play it, accept it for what it is, and just move on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gaming will move on. Gaming will survive. I just sincerely hope that.
Gaming.
We'll
Find a
Always
way.
find a way. Always find a way.
Gaming will continue. My only hope is that if another tragedy happens, which unfortunately something's going to happen again. There's going to be another shooting. There's going to be another something that happens in America.
This game is going to be immediately tied into it.
I sincerely hope that doesn't happen.
They're going to be like, all right, so-and-so shooter's name had a computer. Do you think the computer game Hatred was meant for a training simulator? Are games teaching our kids to kill?
Right. I see it already. I sincerely hope that doesn't happen, though.
No, it's going to.
Well, hopefully this game doesn't get big enough that it's even a talking point.
Yeah.
That's all I have to say about that.
Yeah.
What a funny story, Adam.
Hello, Doc.